What's going on? Adam here, aka Captain. I'm going to try to get right into it. My title is Why I Hate PayPal. So, this is just going to be a video about explaining some scenarios and stories and experiences that I've had recently with PayPal. It is going to kind of be a little bit of story time, but I think that's necessary just to explain the experiences I had. Before I get into that, as I always try to do, these are my experiences, my opinions. These are things that have happened within me, things that I've dealt with. So they're only opinions, they're only my thoughts. They're not the end all say all. I have learned to not like PayPal. I know people that use PayPal and never had an issue, but it's gotten out of hand regarding with me with PayPal and some of the things that they have done. Maybe you'll share some experiences. If you have had some experiences, feel free to comment and let me know. But here's what's happened with me. So PayPal, I think everybody would agree, is number one. I think Venmo is a close second, and then the couple others that are sprinkled in: Apple Pay, Zelle, Cash App, and we'll talk a little bit about that stuff later. But I've had PayPal for a very long time. Back in the day when eBay's been around for a long time, but back in the day, you had to have PayPal to operate an eBay account. Now you can attach your credit card, your direct deposit, which is great. That has been awesome. I have had my credit card and my direct account, bank account on there for some time now. It's just super easy. Basically, when the tracking hits the post office, your funds were released to you. Super easy, convenient, awesome. So my first real incident basically with eBay and PayPal was a person had bought a card. Let me back up. The card was missing a patch. It was a flawless card. It was missing a patch. The patch was notified in the comments or in the description that, hey, the card is missing a patch. They'd messaged me and said, hey, would you change the shipping to the 20 and under, because the card was only $5 envelope. I said, sure, no problem. We did that, and I said, hey, by the way, you know the card is missing a patch. And they said, yes, I'm aware. We collect this guy. It's all good. Okay, card sent. A few weeks later, I get pictures of an envelope ripped up, and it looked a little bit wet, and them claiming that the card is all kind of damaged. The only discrepancy with the card was that the patch was missing. There wasn't any type of damage to the card otherwise. And this is like kind of what I'm leading to. The biggest issue that hasn't been fixed, corrected, policed, and I don't know what the answer is, but when the card leaves the seller, it's now in the hands of whatever postal service you choose: FedEx, USPCS, UPS, whatever. And then that's in somebody else's hands, probably 5 people, different hands. It goes to the truck driver, the delivery person, the warehouse, and then it gets to the buyer. So what happens in between that time is not technically my fault. Now, there's a big argument on, am I responsible for that? Is the seller responsible for what happens during the transportation? I think a lot of people would say yes, but when you're on the other side of that, would you still say yes? That's my question. Is it my fault that the delivery driver kicked your package? There's a bunch of times that I've been at the post office, and right in front of me, I'll hand someone my package, they'll scan it, and they'll throw it into a bucket. They have no idea what's in there. They don't care. They don't ask. Even if it's small, I've seen people take boxes and drop it from chest level into a box. Then it gets kicked around, moved around. With the amount of packages that they're doing every day, all day, do you think that they're taking each package and neatly placing it where it needs to go, from one hand to another warehouse, to another delivery driver, to another truck driver, to an airplane, what have you? So, all that hands passing and all that, how is that my fault? I have no say and control over the Postal Service and how they do their job. Keep that in mind. We'll get back to that. Anyway, the card arrived. She says that the package was wet, ripped, and opened, and that the card was now damaged. This was a $5 card. She said she wanted a full refund. I said, absolutely not. I said, the card wasn't damaged when I sent it to you, and unfortunately, I don't have any say on how your card arrives. Though that sucks, and you're 3 weeks late, I didn't send you a damaged card. I'll do a partial refund. Again, this is all over a $5 card. Send her $250. She gets the $250. She accepts. I think it's done. She ends up 3 weeks later from that putting bad feedback. And that sucks because it's like, I didn't do anything wrong. We agreed on a partial refund. It's a $2 card now. What is going on? And I called eBay, tried to get the feedback removed, and I had it on there. And eBay, for some reason, decides that negative feedback needs to stay on your account. I believe it's a year. And you can't get it removed for 12 months, and it has to be perfect feedback during those 12 months. During those 12 months, if you get another, I think, bad feedback, I believe the clock starts over again. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I just know that bad feedback stays for 12 months. So I didn't do anything wrong. I did what they requested, and I still got a bad feedback. eBay wouldn't honor it, and I explained to them, hey, they complained about it 3 weeks later. The card was delivered a while ago, but they sent pictures of the package with the ripped up. Well, who's to say that she didn't rip up the package? I mean, if it's raining, how is that my fault that the package was wet? The delivery driver left it in there. Her mailbox had a leak. I don't know. So with that, all that being said, keep in mind that there's just sometimes that you're going to end up with an issue and a stupid customer. We can do a whole nother video on that, but that happens. It's happened to me. And it's just the risk you take with selling online. 9 times out of 10, eBay and PayPal will side with the buyer. Just keep that in mind. So that was my first issue I wasn't happy about. PayPal, they didn't want to help out in the area there, even though I did everything right. And eBay and PayPal, sometimes they work together, and sometimes they are like, oh, PayPal is different, eBay is different, and then other times they're like, oh. So that's confusing and frustrating. The next big thing, and this is kind of a longer story, I want to try to keep it short, but basically, another thing, we did a deal through Instagram. He bought the card, sent the tracking, sent it to him. The card never arrived. Again, nothing that I did wrong. Card was packaged, tracking was provided, never got to him. And as we speak, the card is still missing. That happened. He messages me like a month later, hey man, what's going on with the card? I file a missing, he did do goods and services. So he files, I file a missing package report. I contact my postmaster who I'm close with. They contact the post office over there. He then moved and tries to change the address. And I'm like, well, maybe you didn't get it because you moved. And he's like, oh, well, that was only a day after. And I'm like, well, if it's a day after and they tried to deliver it, maybe you weren't there and you moved, so they held it and kicked it back and now it's lost, whatever. So he's like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, well, sometimes these things pop up. Let's just wait and see and keep an eye on it. At that time, again, the deal was done through Instagram, and he did do goods and services. So I wasn't hiding. I could have just said, fuck you, and blocked him and been on with it. Messages me again. He says, hey man, I need a full refund. And I'm like, well, listen, man. I'm like, I understand you're frustrated you didn't get the card, but if I give you a full refund and then the card arrives to you, I'm supposed to just trust that you're going to send the card back to me or send back the money? I was like, I'm still out of card myself because I didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just an unfortunate situation. Also, the person chose not to do insurance. With that note, if you are doing deals off corporate sites like eBay or MySlabs, if you're doing deals between Facebook and Instagram and there's goods and services and all that, and you're selling something, message in the comments if they want insurance. It will just help protect you that when you have to go through those PayPal goods and services or fight a claim that you said, it just looks better that you were like, hey, do you want insurance offered? And if they say no, you're good to go. Obviously, you can ask them to pay for it. Now, obviously, ground transport, I think it's called, which is most of your packages, offers $100 insurance included, so that's good. But obviously, things that you're sending are not always just only $100. But keep that in mind when you're talking to someone, especially on a high dollar card. Offer them insurance so that it protects you. That you offered them to purchase insurance and they declined. It's just something good to have backed up. Anyway, back to the story. He, in the messages, tells me, hey, I know it's not your fault. And he's like, but I would like a full refund. And I said, listen, man, I can't give you a full refund for something that wasn't my fault. And then also I'm out the card. I was like, you're out for paying X, Y, and Z for the card, and I'm out the card. So if I give you a full refund, I don't have my product, and it wasn't my fault. So then he gets really angry, starts cursing me, does a big Instagram post, and I have to end up blocking him because he just started blowing me up and trying to discredit my name and business and all that. Anyway, so then I offer, all right, listen, I'll give you a partial refund. I will give you half of what you paid for the card. And I think that's fair. You're out a card and some money. I'm out a card and some money. It wasn't my fault. You got the tracking and everything. And potentially, I believe what happened is that he moved before he got the card, tried to contact me and say, hey, change the address. It was too late. And the card probably got either attempted and got sent back, and then it got lost. Again, this was earlier in May, I believe, May or March, and yet the card is still missing. So at that time, I sent him half the money back. He says that's not good enough. I want the. Well, at first he accepts the refund, the half of the refund. Then he comes back and he's like, I want the other half. I say no, not happening. We'll wait and see if the card comes. Because still, there's the potential for the card to arrive to you, and then I'm still out half of the money, and I'm supposed to. He's like, oh, well, I'm a good person. You should just trust me. I will send you the money if the card arrives. Obviously, shit don't work like that. Anyway, it goes to PayPal. I submit everything to PayPal. We submit all the messages. I submit the refund that I sent to him, and the tracking. I explained my portion is that, hey, everything was sent. He then moved. It's in the messages. It also shows the receipt through PayPal that I sent the $75. What else can I do other than fully refunding him, and then I'm just out of card because USPS effed up. So I go, they side with him. Not only do they side with him, but then they charge me the full amount of $150 when I already partially refund him. So if they're going to do that, which I don't agree with it, but if they're going to do that, they should only charge me the other $75. Contact PayPal again. Hey, why are you requesting a full refund? I already sent him $75. If you're going to do it, minimum it should be just $75. Call 3 different times, spoke to 3 different people. They say, oh, we'll take care of it. Never taken care of. So this goes on and on and on. I decide, screw it. I'm done with PayPal. I can't do this every time where I send something. I don't do anything wrong. The post office or whatever shipping company fucks up, and I have to eat it. I shouldn't have to do that. Also, there's provisions in place for that, such as insurance and all that. And I know I'm talking a lot. I just want you to understand the scenario. Finally speak to a manager, and I say, hey, listen, here's the deal. It's in the messages, it's in the dispute that I refunded him $75. Why are you guys charging me $150? And she's like, oh, well, you sent that in a different transaction, not in this transaction. All these crazy excuses. So I'm like, well, guess what? I'm not paying it. Not paying it whatsoever. Nope. She says, I see what happened here. I'm so sorry this happened. Actually, you know what? I see what you did there. I see that you did refund him. I will send 75 back to you. The other 75, unfortunately, I can't do because he didn't get his product. And I said, okay. I said, so what happens every time that I don't do anything wrong and the post office messes up and I'm just going to keep losing money? And she's like, I don't know what to tell you, sir. So that's that gray area where is the seller responsible for shipping that doesn't arrive? And I think it shouldn't be. And I say that because if that happens every time the post office, you're relying on somebody else that's not technically included in the deal, right? Like I'm paying the post office to ship my stuff. The seller also has the option, a customer, to provide insurance on their package. If they decline that or don't do that, it's almost like a unfortunate situation. Why does it have to be on my side? I don't know. That's the gray area. So that happened. So what did I do? I was like, I'm done with PayPal, but I can't be done with PayPal because PayPal's king. Not everybody has Venmo. Almost everybody has PayPal. So I create another PayPal account with different accounts, phone numbers, and all that against my will, really. But because I like using Venmo, I think Venmo is super user-friendly. It's easy. Your money is there within like 12 hours. I think it's just a little bit easier and faster and quicker. I do believe that Venmo does have a goods and services type deal. I've never used it, but there is that option as well. Never had a problem with Venmo ever, once. So PayPal, start a new one, get started on that. Attach it to all my other accounts, change everything, start getting payments, selling things left and right. All my money is on hold. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars is on hold with PayPal. What's going on? Call PayPal. They're like, yeah, well, you're a new account, so we have to protect you and the buyer. Just go ahead and add the tracking. Go to the website, add the tracking. When you add the tracking and it's delivered, it will hit a day before the delivery. I go to the website. I do that. I kind of forget about it. A week goes by. I have like $500 in hold still after all these packages are delivered. And now here's where I'm going to show you this stuff. I call PayPal. I'm like, hey, why is $500 just sitting in my account? The packages were delivered a week ago. You said I would get it after I add the tracking number 1 day before delivery. So that means it's 10 days old. The guy says, oh, you have a new account. I'm like, yeah, I heard that. What's going on? He's like, well, it says here that your funds will be available in 2 weeks. The packages were already delivered. Why are you holding my money? Oh, it's a protector for you and the seller or the buyer. The buyer already received this package. The tracking says delivered. There's no complaints. My money's there. You already took your share when the PayPal hit before. There's no point for PayPal to hold my money. Oh, sir, it's to protect you. Let me speak to your manager. Speak to the manager. I'm going to release the funds to you. So every time to get something done with PayPal, you have to request a manager or a supervisor. And it sucks. You're on the phone for 45 minutes with the rep. They're telling you no, no, no. You ask for a manager. Talk to them. 15 minutes explaining the whole story again, and finally then they do what the right thing is. Then they say, hey, sir, we're not supposed to do this, but go ahead and fix your account to maximize the threshold of what you're allowed to have. Okay, why is there a threshold on the account? I never picked that. I never selected that. I didn't have that the first time I did with my other PayPal account. I guess it's a new rule. A new rule is when you start an account, there's only so much money that you're allowed to have, which seems crazy. Imagine the bank telling you, hey, you're only allowed to have 10 grand in this account. Why would that be an option? I want to be able to put as much money in here as I want. What do you care? I'm actually making you money by using your service. So why are you going to limit me on how much money I can have in the account? I don't know, but it's a rule. So I'm going to show this to you, and hopefully you can see. I get an email from customer service, and if you can't see it, I apologize. I'm kind of doing this ghetto on the phone. Get a message with them. Log into your PayPal account. Click Let's Fix It under your PayPal balance. Click Request an Increase on the right side. Select the appropriate amount that you want, and done. They will review it and let you know if you're approved for that. So I'm going to show you what happens. This is still more money I have on hold from a different transaction yesterday. And I have the email here. Log into your PayPal account. Done. Click Let's Fix It under PayPal balance. Well, here's PayPal balance. Here's PayPal balance. Nothing that says click fix it. Okay? So I'm like, all right, they're giving me instructions that don't say anything. Well, let's dive into it more. Let me click the balance. Maybe they forgot to tell me a step. Oh, it wants me to put my password again. We'll do that. PayPal balance. We're already here. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll go in this way. Let's see, why is it on hold? Okay, here's the money that's still on hold. Nothing that says what the instructions tell me to do. Let's fix it. Right here in bold. Click Let's Fix It under your PayPal balance. It's not here. They're giving me instructions that don't even exist. Oh, maybe I missed it. I'll click these. Nope. Okay, go to PayPal balance. Thought I'm already here. Again, nothing on the page that tells me to click it. So when I click this, you have successfully updated the shipment information. You'll get your money within 1 day of delivery. So what I'll explain is, that's the same thing that they told me last time. They're false advertising on their website. It says you'll get your information if you add the tracking, when the tracking's there. And as you saw, it said you'll get that information, you'll get your money 1 day before. Now they're telling me, oh, you got to change your threshold amount. Well, they give me instructions that don't exist. PayPal has been screwing up for a long time with me. I don't know if any of you have gone through this. I will just give you some advice. PayPal is king. Sometimes there's these companies where Comcast is another one, PayPal is one, eBay is one. These major big time companies that you just can't get around. They can fuck customers left and right. If you go to an area, predominantly where I live, if you don't have Comcast, you don't have internet. You can get around with the cable and DirecTV and streaming now, but internet, if you don't have Comcast, you're pretty much fucked. So you have to get Comcast as much as that. And those companies, they know that. They know that, well, okay, if you're not going to use us, who are you going to use? Well, you need internet, so you have to use internet. PayPal. Everybody has PayPal. Almost everybody has Venmo, but there's some people that have PayPal. That's another reason why, if you do card shows, it is imperative. Bring cash. People do not want to deal with Venmo and PayPal if they don't have to. It's an option. It should not be used, in my opinion. Just bring the cash. You know everybody wants cash. You know you're going to a card show. I'm so afraid to carry so much cash on me. I'm scared. It's okay. You're going to be there. You'll be fine. If you go to a card show where I'm at, I will be there. I will protect you. Bring cash. It makes things easier so we don't have to deal with bullshit like this. They're giving me instructions that don't exist to fix a problem that shouldn't be a problem. So PayPal has been very frustrating. A little side note on some notes. In my previous life, I was a cop for 10 years. Cash App is one of the most scammed and issues that I've seen with people. A lot of drugs, a lot of criminal activity dealing with Cash App. Sometimes on Facebook groups, I see people only accepting Cash App. Stay away. If you use Cash App and you've never had a problem, that's okay. I'm not saying that you can't. All I'm saying is that every time I've seen a Cash App deal, it's been almost negative. And a lot of criminal activity is done with Cash App. I don't know why. I don't have the detail and the data to say. I just know that through my time as a police officer, money was being sent around left and right only using Cash App, and it was for criminal activity. And it'd be a red flag when someone says Cash App only. I don't know the details behind that and why. All I know is I have that data that Cash App has been attached to criminal activity. Apple Pay, just never had the opportunity to use it. And Zelle, I do know some family members that use it. I don't know if it works the same. I'm assuming it does. Just never had to use it. So I do still have PayPal. I started a new one. I'm going to call PayPal right now to figure out how I can change my own threshold so I can accept more money so that I can make them more money. It just seems very odd that they would put a limit on how much money I need to make so that I can in turn make them. Very odd, but I'll probably be on the phone for an hour. If you've had any similar issues with PayPal and Venmo or any other companies, feel free to comment, message me, let me know. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I just wanted to let you know that to get around it, just pay cash. When you're doing shipping and all that stuff, be as detailed as you can in your messages. Save them, screenshot, offer insurance. Make sure that you have pictures of fronts and backs. It doesn't go just for cards. Any items, you need to protect yourself because 9 times out of 10, I promise you, PayPal/eBay/ anybody else is going to side with the buyer. All right, I'm out. Peace.